So here is a drawing of the cat reclining, tabby cat, stripy cat, and the whiskers on this cat are lighter, almost white. So if I take an old-fashioned dip pen and some masking fluid and dip the pen in there, I don't want to get too much on there, but if you haven't got an old-fashioned pen like this, you could use a brush, a small brush. And I just want to draw with the masking fluid on the pen over the pencil. So if I draw with the masking fluid over the pencil line for the whiskers, then the masking fluid, when it's lifted off much later, should take the pencil with it, because it has the effect of working a bit like a rubber. This is the only bit of masking that I'm going to do for this cat, and you can hold the drawing up and look at it against the light and see that the masking fluid has worked. I'm going to draw fairly quickly with this because it does seem to dry on the pen. I'm trying to work from the beginning of the whisker at the nose outwards and lift off. Just lift off on the pen a little bit, so maybe trying to get a tapering line. So the pen's just clogged, so I've got to give that a wipe, dip it back into the masking fluid. When he dipped it in about that far into the masking fluid, and then a curving line that hopefully gets thinner towards the end of the curve. Just tilt that up to the light to see if that's worked. Some of those lines are going to be too thick, I think, but I think it's mostly worked. So the next thing I think would be to wait for that to dry, because I can't do any watercolour on top until that has dried off, and then lighten this a bit. So I'm going to this is the area that's going to be in focus and more detail, so I don't need to lighten that so much. But if we're going to try and use blurry effects for some of these stripes, and a blurry effect wet into wet to give an impression of the softness of fur, particularly in this area, the stomach. Then it's a different technique to the other animals you may have done recently, like a tiger or a badger, or I don't know. But it's a way of painting soft fur, I hope, that will be suited to watercolour, get the best from watercolour. So I don't want to lose these lines completely, so I'm going to leave this bit here as being more in focus, and just brush this off. Just going to have the rest of the drawing not so dark, so it's a little bit lighter, and the washes, when they come to put the watercolour on, will obscure the drawing mostly. I still want the drawing as a guide, I think, as a guide to. So, just going to let that dry, and I'll be back in a minute with another stage using colour.